Hello, I'm Nathan Martin with the Divine Pollination Hive and the UnityProcess.com. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how we can take the negative contrast in our life, the contrast being things that are unwanted in our life, and how we can actually use it to create the reality and the world that we want for ourselves. So with the world of this global pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, this is the perfect opportunity for us to be using this darkness, for using this contrast, this really tremendous contrast, to create things that we really want in our lives. If this is something that interests you, stay tuned. Okay, so let's first discuss how we create our reality based on contrast. So we go through an experience, and oftentimes it is an unwanted experience. When we go through an unwanted experience, such as what we're going through right now with COVID-19, we can start thinking about what we do want as a result of what we don't want. So this is what's known as a positive focus. Most people have a negative focus, and then they try to have positive thinking with their negative focus. So the positive thinkers are like, oh, but it's not that bad, or oh, it'll be done soon, or things like that. But what I'm actually doing and what I'm talking about is something that comes from the Abraham Hicks, and also from just mysticism in general, from New Thought. And with this, we're going to learn how to create what we want in our lives through looking at this contrast. So for example, let's say you're afraid of getting sick. And so the fear of getting sick would make you want to fight that fear by taking as many vitamins as possible, and social distancing, and keeping yourself away from other people, and quarantining yourself, and hiding away from people, and not touching anybody, and staying away, etc. But what you could say is, okay, well, this is what I don't want. I don't want to get sick. What I do want is to feel healthy. And so then you would start saying affirmations, sometimes up to 45 minutes a day. I'm healthy. My body feels amazing. I love how I feel. And so what I do is I try to purposely make a smile on my face when I'm saying these things, because these are things I generally like. I love feeling healthy. I love feeling whole. I love feeling good about myself. I love my body feeling amazing. I love what it feels like to go for a walk, and to be in my body, and to exercise, and to feel whole. I really enjoy this, and this is so I'm going to focus on these things for a good amount of time, especially if my fear is really big about getting sick. So yeah, you just use your joy, the things you want and you want to create, and you focus on those. Now you're aware of the negative. You're aware of your fear of getting sick. You're aware of fear of that's being pumped out on the media. You're aware of all the terrible things they say are, that could happen to you. But in spite of that fear, you're now going to focus on what you want as a result of that fear. So that fear is telling you that you want a certain quality of life. I want to be healthy no matter what. I want to feel healthy even in the worst of times. So you could say, even in the worst of times, I feel amazing. Even in times of pandemic, I feel great. I love feeling good. I really enjoy a healthy body. And so you really want to focus on the things that make you happy, that give you joy, that you really do enjoy. So I'm going to give an example also of how we can use contrast to discern what we want. So there is this picture, and I'm putting it up now. It says, COVID-19 notice. In order to prevent the possible spread of COVID-19, trails are closed to bicycles until further notice. Walking is permitted. Now, what we have here is basically gaslighting. It doesn't make logical sense. It is actually something that's meant to bring up cognitive dissonance and to create something called psychological compartmentalization. This makes people easier to manipulate when they are in this state. So it's going to do one of two things. People with cognitive dissonance, they're going to try to find the easiest way to bring their mind back into alignment, and oftentimes that's complying and coming up with excuses and compartmentalizing these two different beliefs side by side, and they don't even know each other exists. And so that kind of solidifies the mind control, so to speak. So that's one way that we could handle it. Now, another way we could handle it is we could get adept at working through it. So, okay, I see this example here of cognitive dissonance. This is totally irrational. It's definitely designed as something to make me feel uncomfortable because there's these two dissonant things happening. You can walk, but you can't ride a bike, because if you ride a bike, you can spread COVID-19, but if you walk, it's fine. Well, that's completely irrational. That makes no logical sense. But unless, of course, you're a propagandist and you're trying to induce cognitive dissonance, then it makes perfect sense. So how would we deal with that? There's something demoralizing about agreeing to lies. Those who traveled a lot behind the Iron Curtain, or lived behind it often, commented on the needless things they were persuaded to agree to lie about. People often wondered, why am I being made to agree to this implausible thing? And the answer really was because it will demoralize you further and make you less willing, even than you were before, to think of yourself as an individual with any worth. And this is from Douglas Murray. Now, when we look at this, and we know how contrast is. So what is this doing? This cognitive dissonance is trying to induce us into a sense of losing our identity and giving our identity away to others, letting other people be the author of ourselves so that we go into cognitive dissonance and we compartmentalize. Well, we don't want to do that, and so we can either be angry and try to fight it, which isn't going to get us anywhere because we're just fighting the unwanted. Or we could say, okay, what is it that this is trying to show me? Well, from this graphic I can see, and from the statement I can see that they're trying to get me to believe a lie. And so what is it that I really want? I want truth. The wanted is truth. So I see this lie, this COVID-19, you can walk but you can't ride a bike, because if you ride a bike you'll spread it, and if you don't and you walk, it's fine. Well, that's a lie. That's a contradiction. And that's an intentional contradiction. So what do you value? At least I value truth. And I value people who speak truth. I want to live in a world where people speak truth. So I would start focusing on I live in a world where people speak truth. I live in a world where people are truthful. In my reality, people are truthful. I value truth. I really value the truth. I really enjoy being around people who value the truth. I really enjoy being in a society that values truth. I really value the pursuit of truth. I really like honest people. I really like when things are in alignment and not in contradiction. So I love alignment. Alignment is truth. When something is in contradiction, it is out of alignment. So I prefer alignment. I love alignment. I love a society that is in alignment. I love a society that values truth. These are all things that I could say and focus on heavily based on the contrast of this contradiction. So there's lots of contradictions that we're seeing in the media. What these contradictions are showing us is that we need to be more clear about what we want and what we want to create. And if we're an intentional creator, we want to create things like a society that values truth. I value truth. I love truth. I love seeing truth in my family. I love seeing truth in my relationships. I love seeing truth in my own thought processes. I love seeing truth in my community. I love seeing truth on television. I love seeing truth in my society. So these are all things that we could really focus on for 45 minutes or more at a time, especially with all this time we have. We really have no excuse not to be focusing on the wanted, because there's so many things there's so much contrast being presented to us that we really can just start taking all that, chewing on it, deciding what we want from it, and then focusing on it. And I just gave you some really good examples of things that you can say on walks, on bicycle rides. You can record it in your on your iPhone or on your mobile device, and you can put your headphones in and you can listen to it over and over and over again. These are all things that you can do with your affirmations to really focus on the wanted. And what you're going to end up doing with this positive focus is you're going to start seeing more of it, and you're going to start creating more of it. And this is really an important time in human history to be doing this, because this is game time. This is where the rubber meets the road, and it's very important to really start working it in an intentional manner as an intentional creator. If you consider yourself a conscious person, this is the time to be doing this as a conscious individual, as a conscious creator. So next I'm going to be looking at this thing from Randy Moggins. And he wrote something that was really interesting about some of the things that are being made to happen with social distancing, with not being able to be close to your friends and family, with being locked in your house and only being able to go outside to exercise. He said, "I am not insensitive to my friends, family, and media audience who are fearful and following the guidelines now in force under the alleged pandemic. I was very ill earlier this year myself. It makes one protective and wary about potential risks and weakness and weakened immunity. That said, I do ask you to consider the positions of those of us now termed as divergent, who are pushing back on the overt and illegal, in many of our opinion, suppression of human liberties. I do try to honor social distancing in public spaces, despite how dehumanizing it feels to me. I am also now required by the edicts of the governor of the state to don a protective mask in those spaces, despite the fact that I have breathing difficulty covering my nose and mouth. But really, the very acts of distancing and masking are acts of depersonalization and create barriers to normal, healthy human interaction that is literally coded into our beingness as social creatures. Watching as humans now pass each other, even deliberately using avoidance maneuvers, is social conditioning that now treats fellow humans as others, as potential risks by their very presence in our space. This should be repugnant to us. There is much in terms of how this social engineering is being accomplished that will not end when this threat is lifted. Just as other mass events like 9/11 installed an uber paranoia into the culture, notably around humans of Middle Eastern origin, now we are being trained to view all humans as potential health risks. Added to these conditions are, now emerging, acts of shaming divergence, placing social peer pressures, acts of condemnation, and even in some cases snitching on fellow humans who do not comply. These divisions are damaging the social fabric of our world in ways that will destroy the collective psyche. If you cannot see the larger picture of what is being done to us, at least consider that, for this moment, each of us are sincerely doing the best we can under enormous stress. That many are suffering in the suffocating aloneness installed as a precaution. Until we know the full scope of what this alleged threat is, please, above all else, recall that in our history, we have all enjoyed the proximity of each other, that we have shared space, breathed common air, we have danced, played games, laughed, shaken hands, played music, embraced, and kissed. That who we are as human beings is so precious that in previous generations we defended the very right to assemble as inherent and God-given. We are more than a biological mass. We are greater than any plague. We have lived, evolved, and nurtured each other for millennia. Do not ever surrender that, lest we become nothing more than autonomic, flat-screen robots. And this is commentary on a meme that was being shared, where it says, "Went to the big grocery store here today. It is tragic. I wanted to just weep for how they have destroyed what remains of humanity. Everyone wearing masks, social distancing, no eye contact, and everyone's auras are just flat, pale. Many people will die in the next few years." So let's go through this. There's lots of different things that we can actually work on with our affirmations, things that are contrast-inducing. So first, they're attacking our liberties. I enjoy liberty. I enjoy my natural rights. I claim my natural rights. These are all affirmations that we could use and just kind of focus on and enjoy. I enjoy my natural rights. I enjoy my life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. I focus on enjoying my life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. You're considered divergent for free thinking. I enjoy being a free thinker. I love free thinking. I really, really love being around free thinking individuals. I love living in a society that is free thinking. I love being an autonomous individual. I love having rights as an autonomous being in society. I enjoy my rights. I enjoy exercising my rights. The governor is now forcing people to wear protective face masks, despite the fact that he has problems breathing. So he has problems breathing. He doesn't like wearing a mask. I love when my face is free. I love being able to see the smile in other people's faces. I love being able to connect with people and see their smile. I love looking into their eyes when I'm in line, smiling at them and saying a kind word. I enjoy seeing the faces of those around me. I love being a human being and being able to see the body language of those people around me. These are all different things that we could say just in regards to the masks. We're being shamed for being divergent. There's peer pressure, acts of condemnation, shaming. So that's not collaborative. When we are in a collaborative society, we listen to people's opinions and we share our opinions, and then we work through things in a dialectic. So they bring a problem, we react to the problem, now we work through that problem in a synthesis and we create something new together. So a collaborative thinker really knows how to do this process and really enjoys divergent opinions, different opinions, and these different perspectives add breadth. And being able to look at different perspectives is called empathy. But if you're not willing to look at other people's perspectives and you're just going to shame them for their behaviors, now what you're doing is you're not empathizing with other people. You're not paying attention to who they are and their viewpoint, and you're not honoring them as a person. You are just shaming them for not conforming. And so shaming people for not conforming is the opposite of empathy. And we say we need to have empathy for the sick. That's who I have empathy for, or compassion for the sick. No, we need to have empathy for everybody, and we need to understand their viewpoint. Understanding their viewpoint and seeking to understand their viewpoint, like, oh, why do you feel that way? I would like to understand you. That is that's empathy. That's true empathy. It's not conforming. Empathy is not conforming. Empathy is wanting to understand somebody's viewpoint. And so if we can then ask people what they believe and why they believe it, and we could try to understand that, now we are actually exercising empathy. And you can't do that when you're shaming them. So then you would say things like, I enjoy empathy. I'm an empathetic person. I enjoy communicating with empathetic people. I really enjoy being empathetic. My family is empathetic. My society is empathetic. My culture is empathetic. I live in an empathetic society that values the opinions of others. These are all great affirmations that you can use to combat this social shaming. Valuing empathy. I love empathy. I love hearing the viewpoints of people around me. I love listening what they have to say because I always learn something new. I'm humble enough to know that when I listen to somebody, I might learn something from them. I might not, but I might. And so that's what humility is all about, is treating each person as special and understanding that they are a possible contributor in your life. And that instead of shaming them, it is a good idea to listen to them, to value them, and to not necessarily believe them. I mean, if they have bad thinking, you don't have to believe them, but they still might bring something of value to the table that you need to pay attention to. Okay, we're all living under enormous stress right now. So what is it that we really want rather than living in stress? Hey, I want to be able to be peaceful. I want to be relaxed. I am so relaxed. I enjoy relaxation. There's so much time to relax right now. I enjoy it. I really enjoy being relaxed about money. I really enjoy being relaxed about life. I really enjoy being relaxed about society and where society's headed. I really enjoy relaxation with my family. I really enjoy peaceful walks in the countryside. I really enjoy peaceful walks through the city. I really enjoy walks through the park. Whatever it is that really brings you relaxation, you can then focus on that. The right to peaceably assemble. It's a God-given right to come together in a congregation, at a church, at a synagogue, with your family for parties and things like that. That has been removed right now for the public safety. But what we can say then is I really value my right to assemble. I really enjoy exercising my right to assemble. I really enjoy spending time with family. I really enjoy family get-togethers. I really enjoy going to church. I really enjoy going to synagogue. Whatever it is that you really enjoy going to in groups, I really enjoy going to karate class. I really enjoy playing on my soccer team or my football team. These are all things that we can talk about that we enjoy and focus on, based on the contrast of not being able to assemble. And lastly, there's the social distancing. And I would like to look at that because it really is a bummer. I had a friend visit and we went for a walk, but she kept space for me and I wanted to hug at the end, and there was some discomfort around that. And that was sad for me. But after that, then I started focusing on what I wanted. What I don't want, obviously, is to be treated like a pariah. And I don't want to treat them like a pariah. And if I feel the urge to hug my friends, which I love hugging my friends, I would like to do that. So I enjoy hugging. I love hugging. I love being able to hug my friends. I love hugging my family. I love cuddling. I love snuggling. I love being able to hug and kiss and connect with those people I love. I really enjoy hugging. I really enjoy kissing. I really enjoy snuggling. I really enjoy cuddling. I really enjoy holding hands in the park. I really enjoy when I meet a friend that I can be in their space. I really enjoy going to the store and smiling at somebody and being near them and getting to know them or shaking their hand or things like that. These are all things that we can focus on and speak to and keep and really feel the feeling of what it's like to hug, to be able to hold somebody, to be held by somebody, to be in their arms, to have them in your arms, and focus on that feeling of how good it feels, and you can start creating more of that in your life. So we are just being presented with a lot of contrast right now, and this is the perfect opportunity to take this contrast and do something with it, to take the negative, to take the dark side, to take the things that you really don't want, and to turn it into something valuable, special, and creative. This chaos is your opportunity to create order in your life. What are you creating? What do you want to create? What are you creating? If you enjoyed this video, please click like. If you'd like to stay up to date with my videos, please subscribe. If you would like to be notified via email whenever I release a new video, please click the bell next to subscribe. If you have any comments or questions or would like to go into a dialogue about this topic, please leave them in the comments section below. I'm Nathan Martin with the Divine Pollination Hive and the UnityProcess.com. Be safe, be sovereign, be well.